MaxPax best of 3 as we continue again our way through today's Kung Fu Cup action. Let's get into it. In the top left-hand side, our red Terran player is going to be GuMiho, taking on the blue Protoss. In the bottom right, it is MaxPax, formerly teammates. They used to both be on Sidestorm. Currently, GuMiho teamless. Let's see what that. I honestly really thought GuMiho was going to get picked up by a team by now, but obviously I've been incorrect in my assessment there, which is a little sad. Obviously, really, GuMiho's a great player. He's a fun player. A lot of people enjoy GuMiho. He's, quite a favorite amongst the fans as well, right? So. Yeah, kind of a little bit sad that GuMiho has not quite found a new home just yet when it comes to a StarCraft 2 team, but such is the way of the world, I suppose. Such is the way of the world. Sometimes it's not all sunshine and rainbows, especially for StarCraft 2. Obviously, we are not the most privileged game that has all of the teams in the world. I mean, we've got some awesome and amazing teams, obviously, but we have a lot of players teamless that absolutely... I mean, Q is teamless right now as well. If that doesn't boggle your mind at least a little bit, I don't know really what will, because that's a little bit baffling to me at the very least. I really thought they were going to get themselves... I really thought they were going to get themselves picked up for teams for this upcoming season of WTL, but that never really happened either, so... Yeah. Anyways... Here we are now in this first game of this best of 3 and seeing where exactly we are going to be headed over the next few moments as we kick off this game on Golden Aura. So yeah, Golden Aura to start us off. Pretty big map actually. It has turned into one of these maps that seemed pretty sizable generally. We've been seeing a fair bit of this map as of late in general, so yeah, kind of excited to see what we get of it here. Seeing if it's going to be anything interesting in the TVP, as we just have ourselves Chrono Boosting out an Adept already, so bringing that out nice and quickly. Cyclone coming up, a few Marines on the way, the Starport is already producing as well. We have our Twilight Council building, and again the Gateway coming up as well. Just a few little bits and bobs to start things off here. And just have ourselves this one Adept trying to make its way into this high ground, but not really finding a chance to do much for the moment, so everything will remain fairly calm for now. Again, that blink coming up, the warp gate's about to finish, Robo Facility and a Gateway continuing out, a couple of probes are continuing through, our Medevac and our Marines will continue in as well, so plenty of units in production at the moment, lots on the way out just for now. Obviously the Robo Facility following this blink, and how many gateways are we on? Just the 2 going to 3, so not quite going to be the 4-gate blink that you might know and love of MaxPax, right? Like, he is very well known for his 4-gate blink, we all know this, it's the style he absolutely probably loves more than anything else. And he really does play it a lot too, but not going to crank out 4 gateways here, just going to be the 3. That does still give you a fairly good amount of pressure. Just obviously it's still not going to be ever as much pressure as what 4 gateways would be. So that's the major difference there initially. As this Medevac loads up and going to bring itself towards this main base. Going to load a few Marines over on the corner to start things out, so we'll just get us going over there. And a few Stalkers coming up to try and be a little bit of a response to that as well. Moving up, the Stalkers are there to chase that Medevac away for a couple of moments. Does that rather nicely. Going to see the Prism Magic going to get caught, so that means that GuMiho is not going to let MaxPax kind of come through with that at all, and that's going to keep MaxPax a little bit honest here then, so unable to really get through or find much pressure at all. MaxPax not having the perhaps absolute best of starts when it comes to trying to find something. GuMiho's defense is just, like I say, very good so far, so putting himself in a good early position. Obviously, you've got to be good against MaxPax when it comes to defending, right? If you're not going to be on top of your game when it comes to defending against MaxPax, you're basically asking to be starting from behind already, which obviously is basically no point then what are you playing for? Even on the way out from GuMiho, here comes the Stalk. He's actually going to blink up, going to go for the tank. Doesn't get it in one, so takes a couple shots because the other tank is in range as well. I'm not sure how much I love this from MaxPax. Now some Stalkers go the wrong way. And MaxPax ends up losing more than what that was worth. He definitely didn't get value out of this attack. There's absolutely no way he found value in this attack, in fact. These Stalkers will continue over towards the front of the natural. Now going to turn back around towards the main base. Just going to change up their direction ever so slightly. Maybe change up their plans the teeniest amount as well. Stalkers do come in with the Prism. Obviously, with only 4 Stalkers, you can always evacuate each and every one of these, so that's generally your plan, to always have that evacuation ready. And basically, this becomes free damage, and now we are starting to get some SCVs. All of the Stalkers we gave up early and didn't find much, now we do begin to actually get ourselves just a little bit of that damage added on. 7 SCVs on the way out. Again, gateways in production, +1 attack and charge all on the way up. So bringing that through as well, as our stim pack and +1 also continues in. And yeah, a couple Marauders, Marines, all in production as well. GuMiho continuing to get well set up beyond this point. One tank defensively in the main base still seems to be having a pretty big role to play as well, so keep an eye on that siege tank. Definitely expecting it to provide a good time here. Now, MaxPax behind all of this, it's important to know what he's been up to, right? And what he's been up to is putting himself in a fantastic position for the follow-up, quite frankly. He really has set himself up very well in that regard. You kind of look at it, and it really is just, what else does he really need? He's up 13 workers, he's got charge and +1 finishing up, so he's going to have a good amount of tech to work with as well, so that's fantastic too. I mean, everything really is kind of more or less what you would like to kind of just see from this. So yeah, MaxPax really is putting himself in a great position. It might have taken him a little while to start finding the damage he was looking for at first, but now that he's had that damage, like I say, he's doing everything right. Straight to Storm as well, no fear apparently to play Storm. 4th base on the way up. Again, everything MaxPax is doing is almost a statement at this point. He's like, hey, look how far ahead I am. You know, I'm building Storm, I'm building 4 bases, and what are you doing in comparison, you know? You know, what are you doing, GuMiho? Like, show me what you have, you know, that compares to this. And the answer right now is not really a lot, honestly. Yeah, it's not really a lot as the Bio Force comes through, continues to chase a couple of those Stalkers away. And Center will be floating down to the low ground over the next couple of moments as well. The Medivacs and the Bio unit still setting out into the center. And yeah, that Storm coming through as well, so continues to bring that into action. The base is under some pressure. The Raven actually getting some auto turrets down and doing successfully, you know, being pretty successful with those, I would say. I think I'm pretty happy about how that is going. I mean, you get rid of a few units here, a few workers, and that's obviously nice. GuMiho striking back after it's really been him taking a lot of the damage thus far. Now he's able to at least strike back a little bit worker-wise and do a little bit better for himself, so I feel pretty decent. One sec, guys. Sorry about that, guys. So we do just have a few Zealots coming by, so it's actually MaxPax going to become an aggressor over here. Going to go diving across. There's a Storm that hits nicely. No, GuMiho, he's actually going to be in a lot of trouble. He doesn't even get the tank sieged up. I think he's caught pretty off guard by the fact that this attack is happening. It absolutely looks like he's caught off guard. That's a GG's, and that's just going to seal the deal on that one. MaxPax is going to take it 1-0 in the lead for himself in the PV. This map is wild, by the way. Radusat Station. What's my food? I have a chicken parmo sandwich. It's very good. So yeah, Radusat Station. This map is, yeah, like I say, I guess fairly interesting for the fact that you've got this kind of in-base third that you can utilize. So it's actually very easy to take 3 bases, and Generally, maps on this map should go, or games on this map should go quite a long time because the 3-base setup is so easy to get and hold onto. It's so difficult to break it down on your opponent's side of it, so I definitely expect that to be a partial factor in amongst this game. Should be an interesting one. Obviously, we do have MaxPax in the bottom left. He's up a game. GuMiho in the top right, probably catch up in this best of 3. Yeah, this should really be an interesting one as we get set up for these first few moments. Gateway coming up, command center, and a barracks coming through as well. Cybercore and that Zealot coming through too is MaxPax. He's going to have the low ground gateway, so he will be able to get the first Zealot across the map quickly. I wonder if MaxPax has some amount of aggression planned here. Maybe get the Zealot across early. Throw a bit of a disruption on your opponent's kind of just general game plan. And then just question mark profit. I could see that being a very decent way to play things, so I like that plan. Might not be the best plan in the world, but in my eyes, I think it is. So I think that's exactly what we should do, because if I think it's the best plan, it obviously must be, right? Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an interesting idea, though, and obviously this map has kind of got an interesting layout as well, which definitely adds to its kind of intriguing factor of it. As that bunker comes up, one with the command coming through. And that Zealot just going to come running around. First SCV is actually going to get in the bunker, so will the Marines, so we will not get a kill off this Zealot just yet. MaxPax is really going to bring the pressure. 2 more gateways going down as well. I mean, I'm into it. I think overall the idea and what we're seeing is pretty cool. Because obviously you do want to do some serious damage with this. This is an investment that really does delay a lot of your tech, so if you're not, you know, if you don't get a lot out of this, you really do end up in a little bit of trouble in the longer game. As you can see, these first units already kind of breaking in and getting around, so they are going to cause a little bit of trouble as well in these early stages. Again, just messing around here and, yeah, like I say, causing a little bit of mayhem, mishap, and all the rest of it. Can't currently mine off this natural as GuMiho, which is obviously a bit of a frustrating one. And now these Stalkers are just going to run by as well, so now we have a bunch of units in this base, and yeah, like I say, that's genuinely an issue. That is something you kind of got to work out and figure out, because now your natural is going to continue to be under fire. Now a Dark Shrine is on the way from MaxPax. If you get too caught up on this and the Dark Shrine hits, that could be deadly as well. Picks off the bunker. The Marine's still coming through. We're not going to lose a few Stalkers at least, so maybe this is enough to sort of push this back and kind of be done with it for now. Looks as though things might actually just settle down off the back of this, and it might just be kind of okay. The Marines actually with Stim now pushing forward. They're going to take the chance to go after these Stalkers. Is it enough? At first it definitely seemed like it, but these last few Stalkers are going to stand strong, and they are going to be the issue. They are going to provide the problem in the end, as the Stalkers do clean up those Marines. And like I say, Dark Shrine on the way. If GuMiho is feeling the need to kind of drop all of the scans right now, or all of the mules, sorry, which he does, he does not currently have a scan available, so DTs could be quite the killer play if he's just not expecting this to be the follow-up, and like I say, not expecting this to quite just go in general the way that it's going. Adepts and Stalkers broke up the front again. A few Bayouns are going to come stemming down, and my first Adept will take quite a lot of damage. You see the combat shield on the way up. Marines and Marauders still coming out. Like I say, the first couple of DTs will continue to warp in right here. moves up that ramp. 3 SCVs already going down. Facility coming up, and I mean, at the end of the day, it still feels as though it could have been so much better for MaxPax, right? It still feels as though there's so much more he could have maybe ventured into. And he's maybe not quite made it to in the end. We've got the medevac loading up, chasing down one adept, which gets a full scout off as well, so GuMiho is not going to have any sort of sneakiness to what he's doing. MaxPax is going to know every single part of it. We'll at least clean out this gateway. Well, GuMiho's army supply is very good, 34 to 16, but on Radusat, I mentioned this before, this is an extremely difficult map to attack into, so it's going to be very, very difficult to imagine that we can turn this into something that's actually going to really kind of shine and show. I guess that's my current issue with this. Like, I currently look at this and all I see is, well, realistically, yeah, I think realistically speaking, all I really see is kind of a Terran army that can try and drop, and if MaxPax is on top of the drops, then you just don't feel like you're going to do very much at all. And if you don't do very much then MaxPax's army supply isn't going to matter too much, because then his worker count is going to come through for him, because you don't have a third base yet as GuMiho, and MaxPax does. So in that regard, the setup definitely seems to be making good progress. Our Stalker's pulling back a little bit, the Bioforce coming up this ramp, Cybercore, the gateway, taking some damage, some shots being spent. We will get rid of a couple of these structures. So, okay, we break into the natural a little bit. How far can this attack go? How serious can this turn out to be? Super battery active. Probes have to pull from MaxPax. Does he really not have a way to deal with this? Apparently not. The Sorks are not holding their own. And this game is crumbling a little bit then for our Protoss player. GuMiho may be on the verge of sending us to a Game 3. Fire comes in, couple probes taking some damage. Ten probes already dead. Obviously, we do at least have one Colossus out now. Is that enough to start changing the world over here? I'm going to say probably not, but apparently it absolutely is not, and that's going to be GG's. We are going to go to 1-1 here between GuMiho and MaxPax. So we are tied up. We go into a game 3. 1-1, tied up here at the moment. Let's get this underway. In the top left-hand side, we are going to begin with the Terran who just tied it up. I think honestly did well against the initial attack, and then honestly did well against the DTs too. Just made sure that none of this really got to go too far. It is GuMiho against the blue Protoss in the bottom right from Psystorm. It is MaxPax. If y'all just joining us, an exciting day at Kung Fu Cup today. Especially as we will have some Cyril action later on. Unless Cyril has already been knocked out in an upset from Lambo or Nice on his bracket run. I will be catching some of the Cyril games a bit deeper in the event. I was thinking round of 8, maybe a good time to jump over there. That's my initial thought at least. We'll see what the bracket looks like, of course. But we're very down for that, because Cyril has not played in one of these Kung Fu Cups yet. This is the 4th one of this season, and that's the first one he's going to play. And obviously he played some in last season's Kung Fu Cup system, but first one of this season. He played 2 or 3 last time, so you've got to make the most of the Cyril games when you can get them, you know? Get him while you can. CC and Rex coming up. I was going to say our Twilight Council coming through as well, so bring this in. And it's all ready. And the Reaper already here to try and dance around, but the Adept is going to be pretty quick to say, no, you should back away from this. The Adept is going to go for an SCV, mind you, so he is going to cancel. Well, not cancel, but delay the command center on that side of the map. That was a nice catch. I was going to be able to do that as single Marauder here continues to fight around for a little bit. And a couple of devs is continuing around as well, so on their own little bit of a journey. Again, still seeing that blink coming through and everything. Reaper comes back about, and we just have ourselves still a few moments of setting up the Robo facility coming through and everything, so all of that coming in. And that Stimpak coming by, Robo facility, gateway, all the good stuff coming up right now. Devs is going to shade on up, going to move up that ramp, not going to find too much over there. The rest of the bio still coming around as well. Blink still building. As that Prism continues up, a couple of Marauders are going to come through, and they're going to chase for those Adepts, and the Adepts got blocked back by the Reaper Grenade too. Oh, we just don't get it, although they're shading into this Mineral Line, so I guess that will still go okay. I guess we'll still be okay with this in terms of trying to get some damage done. Yeah, okay, I mean, we'll clean those up. That will not be too bad. Prism, Stalkers, still making their way out back over the other side. Again, Combat Shield on the way, Concussive Shells coming up. As a little bit of bio is going to find some of these Stalkers to fight, and we'll begin to do exactly that. Bringing this fight over here. And jumping straight into this, well, Bio does push that back a little bit, so definitely not a bad call on that one. Let's get a little bit of damage done now. These Bio's going to go after those Stalkers, and again, just force them back up into that Prism. Again, the more we can do that, the better off we're typically going to be, the less you have to kind of really deal with all the complications that would otherwise be arising from such a situation. Now the Bio just going to clean up some of these rocks, and MaxPax is going to come back onto the map. Charge on the way, so he's making himself, or getting himself into that next step of the game where, again, you're going to have access to a few different things. A lot of different bits and pieces going on as we just have ourselves the Forge coming through, the extra gates coming in. Nexus is about to be done. That charge still coming up as well, so about to get that halfway done. Our Stalkers will blink in here. Command Center will go down. That's a kill, not a cancel, so that's extra money lost for GuMiho on this trade. Bio comes over. A couple of SCVs are still dying over in the corner. Apparently, I don't know what we're looking at over there, but okay. Something exciting must have happened over there on their screen. Maybe a death animation that went a little bit different to ours. That was a little bit odd, obviously. But, yeah. Like I say, still just fights that are seemingly, I mean, GuMiho's kind of cleaning MaxPax up, but I feel like GuMiho's not exactly being perfect either. Real kind of back and forth game, I suppose, for the moment. These two really not giving way to the other very easily at all. Bio continues out into the center still. And we're going to grab one more Stalker there as well. Still moving down. The charge is about to finish. Robobear coming up. 4 additional Zealots are coming through. +1 attack is just building as well. And here comes the Prism into this natural expansion. Straight in we go. Stalkers are here again on top of those Marauders straight away. And the SCVs are going to have to pull back around a little bit themselves right now also to try and make the most of this. Bioforces to get over. Oh, that's a nice blink. He gets the medevac with units inside, so that was a big loss for GuMiho, and now GuMiho's going to have Zealots in his main base too. I don't know if GuMiho really has enough to kind of hang on in here. I think he's actually going to be in a bit too much trouble, all said and done. I think he might just be down and out, unfortunately, for this one, as MaxPax gets some serious damage done. I mean, GuMiho's army supply is still decent, but the new problem is that this army supply is very much so coming from a set of units that are, well, yeah, I mean, yeah, pretty much basically. This is a set of units that are already half HP. They're definitely not going to be as effective as you want them to be, that's for sure, I think. Just a few units just warping in down on the bottom side, getting joined together. MaxPax, I think, stabilizing. With the worker lead, of course, it's only going to be a matter of time before his army is comparable once again to what GuMiho is working with, so it really hasn't taken too long to get to that point. Yeah, these few Stalkers still heading up. A few Marauders coming across, Marines as well coming out right now. We just have ourselves the Bioforces chased away for a couple of moments. Still got that +2 attack upgrade on the way from GuMiho. Zealot's already onto the third base again. Remember, he killed off that third earlier as it was trying to build, so that's been heavily delayed from what GuMiho wanted it to be, and also more expensive than ever because, again, it was killed and not cancelled earlier, which makes a big difference in terms of the money you get back. No money versus 300 minerals is a pretty big deal when you're trying to afford a new CC, so these things, they definitely add up, that's for sure. Alright, well, as MaxPax sends another round of Zealots around that bottom side, he is still staying aggressive. His main army out on the map a lot more now as well, so absolutely just saying, you know, making the statement that he is the one to kind of come out and challenge. And yeah, he definitely does seem to be the one to come out and challenge. He looks as though he's going to have enough. You know, at this point, I feel like GuMiho is still just on basic bio units. He's on his way to a Ghost Academy, but you're already up against 2 Colossi, man. Time's already kind of passed for you to be ready against these. MaxPax can go back to the Dark Shrine, despite it not really working out in Game 1. We'll kind of lean on it again here in this Game 2, as units still make their way up to the top. A few Zealots in that mineral line, picking off a few SCVs. The Dark Shrine is just over halfway done, but I mean, MaxPax is just slowly chipping away at GuMiho at this point. It doesn't need to be a fast process. It doesn't need to be quick. It doesn't all have to all happen at once. Little by little is absolutely A-okay. As well as Zach, how you doing, my man? 67 months on that Prime. Thank you so much. Appreciate it as always. Hope you're doing well. You're having a good day, mate. Forging that robo facility. Continue up. Observer coming around, missile turret still on the way, engineering bay, the plus a couple of Vikings, the +3 attack upgrade. All of that continuing into production right now. All of that still being brought into play. As our bio units move back down a little bit. The Observer getting caught there for a few moments, so a little bit of action on that. Single file, guys, single file, no pushing, just slowing everyone down if you're pushing. Oh, yeah. A little bit of bio mishap as we do have a slowed down game, and GuMiho is starting to see some tech in life. To get back to the seriousness of this, right? There are, you know, a couple of Vikings on the way up. There are, you know, ghosts coming out. He's getting there. I'm just not sure if MaxPax will give him all the time to get there. And of course, MaxPax is going to be maxed out by the time that GuMiho does get there fully as well, and that's part of the issue. That's definitely one of the things that could add on to the problems. No, Only Perspective, thank you so much for the 4-month resub on the Prime. Good to see you. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And Ordinary, thank you so much for the 2-month resub on the Prime. As GuMiho kind of gets jumped on while he's sort of just putting a little bit of damage onto some rocks. Not exactly ideal. Not what he will have been hoping for, I'm sure, but he didn't lose too much or anything, but just for a moment or so it did seem a little scary, of course. Not to say anything other than that. Force comes through, the couple of ghosts are there, a couple of Zealots already beginning to go down. Zealots are going to go after these couple of depots. A 4th base lands for GuMiho, so he is actually continuing to set up. +2 attack, +2 armor still coming in. Disruptors are still coming as ghosts are set. A couple of Zealots will go onto that command center. Oh my god, Rorik said thank you so much as well. And 3-year resub on the Prime. And Vita LNX on the 10-month resub as well. Sorry, Rorik said and another one. That's a lot of a lot of subs all at once, guys. Enough to start a hype train even. Thank you so much. As we have ourselves this game still kind of going on. Don't want to say it's going on loads longer than I thought. I don't think it's ridiculous how long it's gone on or anything. I just did kind of feel like we were on our way towards a closing position at least initially, but maybe that is not so much the case any longer. You know, thank you, Dustin's played for the 13-month resub as well. A year straight. Woot, hell yeah, thank you so much. Oh my god, and gifting the subs as well. 5 of them going out of Darth Nox 77, Chuanga, Ivestes, Victor Cardinali, and Cat Bertino. Thank you so much, Dustin's plays for the 5 gifted subs. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Guys, the game is just lagging a little bit while the hype train animation is on. I have no idea why it does this. I do not understand, but it is just a thing. Disruptor shots! Landon for sure. Stalkers continuing back across. We do see the couple of Zells continuing through. Marauder will go down. We have got ourselves the few units up in the high ground. There goes the Nexus out on the bottom side. Units are still pressing through. Still on a little bit of a push right now. A couple of depots will continue to drop. It's 11 SCVs killed for the moment. We'll see MaxPax still looking to push up here. GuMiho still has a lot of units out on the other side as well, mind you, so something to just keep in mind for at least the moment or so, right, is that is still something of an attack. Probes are still dying. MaxPax's army as well, if it gets flanked, can be in a little bit of trouble. But of course, the supply just isn't there anymore from GuMiho. The last few moments have been a little bit damaging for him, unfortunately, and just a little bit too much for him to really stick on out. And that is going to do it. That is going to be GG's. MaxPax 2-1 advances over GuMiho.